It's 4 p.m. in Hull. Regional Roads Crime Team officers Dave Smith and Mick Roth are on patrol in an unmarked car.
We've been working in the Humberside area as a team, and we're travelling back to our home base, and we start to get little bits of information on the police radios to intercept a vehicle.
Brief overview is this vehicle was involved in a cash in transit, or we believe it was involved in a cash in transit this morning in South Leeds. A firearm was produced. A firearm was produced, but there's no information regarding it being discharged.
It's a report of a cash in transit robbery. A hold-up of a security van transporting large sums of money.
1626, yes.
To where?
Loft house, top deck.
At the level we work at, people do carry firearms, and the risk is there. It's a very real risk. People within this region have been shot and killed whilst on duty, and that is probably as dangerous as our job gets. It's as real as it gets, and it does go through your mind.
They're trying to trace a black Honda that's been involved in a serious crime.
There was roughly 100 grand taken in the offence. The suspicion is they've been on a shopping spree. If stopped, the occupants are to be arrested on suspicion of robbery.
We're just travelling towards the West Yorkshire area from Humberside. We've had information from our back office that a vehicle that's been involved in an armed robbery where a firearm's been produced earlier on today has hit ANPR cameras coming back into the region.
ANPR, or automatic number plate recognition cameras, can read number plates. Linked to the police database, the system triggers when it clocks a wanted vehicle.
On 6, you've got 4 North Team cars now on this back-to-back, and we are just approaching Rothwell, westbound.
A convoy of 4 police cars is heading for the target vehicle.
We're in an unmarked car, so the marked cars will lead, and that gives us more opportunity to cut through the traffic, if you like, and we can move quicker as a team than we can as individual officers.
Keep your eyes peeled, pal.
Further along the motorway, PC's Wayne Sanderson and Martin Micklethwaite are also alerted.
At the minute, we've obviously deployed to this junction. We've got another 2 cars at the junction behind us at 28. And what we're doing now is we're going to take obs on the carriageway for this vehicle. Oh, mate. Yeah, cover the exit slip. She's there, isn't it? Where are you going to cover it from, mate? Unless you get on that mound there. With the nature of the job, the words armed robbery, instantly in your head, you're thinking, what am I going to come up against when if we stop that vehicle? There's potential that they're going to produce a firearm, produce a knife, and we've got to be on the ball.
There are many escape routes for the Honda driver.
We've split the team to various different junctions to cover various bases. We're aware that the vehicles travel on the M62, but it can come off at any junction.
Now, police intelligence has produced important information.
We knew what the car was, we knew it was a black Honda Civic, and we knew the registration, so we had a good idea who was driving it. We had an idea of what addresses he frequents, and we could go and look at those.
We're going to try and get in a position at the home addresses, and then we'll stand by pending any movement of that vehicle, and then hopefully officers will come and force the doors and make entry and arrest the people, all being well.
Let's take that one, I'll just say that.
What's that Civic there? Just get after that. Get after that. That's a Civic, isn't it? No, it's not. Sorry, mate.
You're trying to look down every side street, look up in the distance, and every little car that comes up that could be a Civic from a distance, a black one certainly, you start to look at all sorts of cars, and you find yourself checking umpteen cars before you potentially find the one.
Keep them peeled for Civic.
You're in that mindset, it's up to you really. You're the only car looking, it's all on you, the pressure's on you. and you've got to do your best to try and locate that car. Try your best not to look like a police car, because they'll all be telling each other.
Mick spots another car that might fit the description.
Civic there. Is that it? Don't lose it, Dave, that's Civic, pal.
No, it's that same one from earlier.
It is a black Honda, but with the wrong registration.
He's gone somewhere, hasn't he?
With multiple police units now hunting the suspected armed criminals, will they be able to track them down? It's 7:30 p.m. in Bradford, and traffic cops James Alderton and Paul Crabtree are on patrol.
Nope.
They're looking for vehicles that may be involved in crime and spot something suspicious.
There was a low-value car, a couple of lads in it, not particularly well kept, that passed us in the other direction. James spun the car around and we set off to go and stop it. Before we'd even put any blue lights on us, we've turned around to go and get behind it. It's seen us turn and started to accelerate away from us.
Tango 58 urgent.
This might be a pool car. One car owned by many, often used for criminality.
Basically, a group of lads can put together for a car, and we call it a pool car. They don't register it, they probably won't insure it properly, and if it gets taken off them by us, it's not going to cost them any money, they won't recover it, so it's cheap motoring.
This vehicle in front of us here was trying to stop us, just making off from us.
Got up behind it, and as we came close up behind, all the blues are lit by that point. He pulled over.
Oh, stand by one.
Stay there.
But as I've got out, and we've told him, stay away and get your keys out, he's set off again then.
Romeo Tango 58 urgent. We have got a vehicle failed to stop for us on Barker and Road at Bradford. Speed is 4-5 miles per hour. Road conditions are quiet.
You get almost, it's like a little cold shiver, and you think, right, we're on.
Going to get back streets, travellers.
Yeah, fair enough. We're still Barker and Road out of city. Speed 40. Vehicle's 3 up. Asian male with a hat with those stupid black things on it, blue and white. Approaching junction of Killinghall Road, red light, stand by. It's a right, Killinghall Road.
You can't drive right out on the roads. He doesn't give a damn about the pedestrians, he doesn't give a damn about the other vehicles, and he doesn't really care about his mates in the car either.
Still Killinghall Road, passing on.
He's heading for the built-up back streets of Bradford.
Moderate, speed is still 40.
Here, the cops need permission to continue a chase that could turn dangerous.
Been granted for practical pursuit. May I remind you of your responsibilities under force course of practice for pursuit driving with that knowledge?
Yes, that's that knowledge. It's now a right on to Rock.
It was early evening, there were kids playing out. It's too tight and too narrow for somebody who's intent to get away from the police to be driving down at full speed. All it takes is somebody to step out of a back gate into an alleyway as he's coming down, and we've got a fatal accident.
And a left down Radnor Street, which is a dead end. Stand by for a possible decamp. It's pavement at end, mate, might go. Approaching the end of Radnor Street, and we've got a bailout.
They split, there were 3 of them in the car, but we picked the driver out, so I got my eye on him, and it's a case you get the driver, the other 2 were, if you can get me, it's a bonus. Bear in mind, he's in trainers and tracksuit bottoms, and I've got big boots on and lumbered down with a stab vest and the like. So they're at an advantage to start with. There's a reason why he's not stopped, because you don't drive off and do that for no reason. So we want to find out what that is.
Paul sets off after the runaway driver. Dave and Mick are hunting a black Honda that they believe has been used in an armed robbery.
Been here somewhere.
Mick wears his specially fitted headcam, catching potential evidence from his point of view.
The headcam's capturing exactly what we see. What you see through the headcam, we see with our own eyes, and it's a great evidential tool, and it just gives us that edge.
Oh, how nice would it be just to drop out on it now.
We'd had a good ride around that particular area, which was Middleton in Leeds. We hadn't seen the car, so the longer time goes on, the less chance you get of this car appearing.
Right, where are we going to reg our bets?
So we decided, look, we've looked at addresses, we've had a good look round, we can't find it. Let's retrace our steps, let's go back to where we think it might have been initially.
Civic there.
Yeah.
Is that a Civic?
Yeah. Straight away is a car fitting the description of what we're looking for.
That's it. Keep going.
Exciting.
Thinking, fantastic, we've got it, we've done our job, we've got the car, we're on. Now there's a job in it, now we can do something with it.
1-6 is a contact on the subject vehicle, which is stationary unattended outside the connected address. Team acknowledge.
Maintain observations, mate.
Yes.
You get almost elation and you think, fantastic, we've done our bit, it's all falling into place, today looks on our side, the bad guys are going to lose and we're now starting to win again.
What they're trying to do now is we're going to try and keep observations on that vehicle and the property as best we can, and make sure no one leaves, and in our unmarked car stay sneaky out of the way as best we can, and we're trying to get some officers down to us as quickly as we can, really, an entry team and as many resources as we can to surround the property. We're on a really limited window here, really limited, because we're going to outstay our welcome quite quickly.
It is an unmarked car, but criminality know our cars. They're not stupid. They know we're running unmarked cars and they also know what they look like. And our cars are seen around this area, quite regularly. So you only got a limited window, if you like, before somebody picks up a phone and says, "There's a police car down from your house, mate."
Backup still hasn't arrived when they see something happening at the house.
Oh, movement, guy, white male, thick set, driver's
1-6,
seat.
it's movement from the address. Person enters the driver's door of the Civic. Stand by.
Heavy set, white male, blue
Yeah, I'll move on to
t-shirt.
interrupts.
A man and woman set off in the Honda.
We have positive sighting of this vehicle.
These guys are potentially involved in an armed robbery and we're sat there on our own. Adrenaline's going and you're thinking all the time what could happen, and you're just trying to remain as alert as possible, not miss a thing, and really be the eyes and ears of the team that are coming towards you to help you.
1-6, yes, vehicle is mobile on Landshore View towards Town Street at Middleton.
Mick and Dave must not lose the driver.
1-6, I believe there's marked units in the area, and our intention is to put a preemptive stop on this vehicle as it travels right onto Newhall Road. Speed is 20, Newhall Road generally towards Manor Farm Drive. Any marked units acknowledge?
With a strong chance of a gun inside the target vehicle, they decide to hold back until more police turn up.
It is a kind of a cops and robbers kind of game. You've got to be thinking one step ahead. You've got to try and do the best you can to apprehend these people.
Or if he's going to one of these other addresses.
Yeah. And it is a straight on, still Winrose Drive, back towards the main road.
Two behind.
We were following the car covertly, and the marked cars have come up behind us.
Come through now, let them through. Just put it on, Dave.
They're coming through. They're coming through.
Get your hands up on dashboard now. Put your hands up. Get your hands out, Chuck.
Yeah, that's anything remember. Kidding me.
Yes, sweetheart, you're under arrest under that same offence. Suspicion of an armed robbery that took place this morning.
You're not expecting to see that kind of person in that vehicle.
Hiya there. Would you mind searching this lady, please?
Yeah, of course.
Thanks very
No
much.
worries, my love.
She's saying she doesn't know what any of it's about, but there's clearly some cash on display on top of her handbag. It's all been left, and it'll be in situ for Socko to do a full forensic recovery of it. We're not going to touch it, but nevertheless, I've seen the cash.
I've got nothing in my pocket.
You're looking really at any kind of forensic evidence that can link them to the incident, the robbery itself. So we leave everything in situ, and it can be done, in a sterile area.
Handcuffed in the Honda, the driver shows no signs of cooperating.
Get your hands from outside the seat now. Stop messing about.
I've just took my belt off.
Last warning.
I can't get them off anyway.
The headcam captures me moving around. It captures what I'm looking at, what I'm focusing at, and ultimately on this, you're looking, you're sizing people up, and all the time you're just checking what's going on, and you just, forming your own risk assessments, if you like, as to who are these people? Are they dangerous? Do they look like they've got weapons on them? And the headcam just gives you that view, which is great.
Word quickly spreads around the neighbourhood.
Go to my house and tell I've been locked up. Yeah, please. Go to...
Mate, you're causing grief for yourself here, aren't you? Disappear off now.
The estate where we were working there is a tight-knit community. These two lads walking by happened to know the occupants of the car. The driver was saying, get to my house, go and speak to whoever at my house. And for us, yeah, that's a kind of a coded message to say, get round the house and hide any evidence that's there of any of these offences.
These are just 2 of 300 arrests the West Yorkshire cops make every day.
Anything in your pockets, mate?
No, not at all.
We'll put them 6 back in there, mate.
Oh well, there's a job in it, Dave.
About time.
About time we had a little job, pal, innit? A little jobette.
Later, addresses connected to the suspects are searched. There's evidence that they've been spending large amounts of money. There are drugs and firearms. The Honda driver now faces charges in relation to the robbery. "10 miles west in Bradford, the runaway car passengers have got away. Paul is chasing the driver. The foot chase ends in an alleyway.
He was crouched down behind a wheelie bin, but because he was looking from left to right, trying to see where I was coming from, his little plaits were flapping up and down. So I could see him coming from behind the wheelie bin.
Okay, just grab a seat.
He's in our car, he's cuffed. We can then start looking at what we've got, search the vehicle.
Unfortunately, we've lost the other 2, the 2 passengers for now. Well, I believe the helicopter's coming to have a look. But with it happening so quick, the description's quite loose. But what we'll do now, we'll check the vehicle, which has obviously got other things in it that it shouldn't have, do some background checks on him and the car, and then see what we've got to deal with.
The reason why he ran away is becoming clearer.
We've just found some plates inside the vehicle that don't relate to this car.
Now, there's several reasons why they might be in there. It might be his friends who he's taking home with his new plates, but that's probably not likely. As it turns out, those plates that were in there have been stolen overnight from another vehicle. Goes back to the pool car mentality. They've got a car, they don't want to put a lot of money in that they can run for cheap.
While they check if it is an illegal pool car, a crowd turns up.
Oi! Move! Oi! Shift! All of you, go away, now! Welcome to Bradford.
Young lads want to come round, look at police car, let them get on with it. It's not going to bother us.
It's like nothing like this has ever happened around here. This happens all the time.
The thing is, in tight-knit communities, he's been seeing it back at car, news will travel, parents, uncles, things like that will find out about it. He's probably going to have an uncomfortable time when he gets home, more so than he will do from us.
The checks indicate that the driver may be involved in at least 3 more separate offences.
There's some plates and number plates in the car, okay, which we need to account for. So what's going to happen now is you're going to be arrested, okay? And you're going to be arrested for, the main thing is for dangerous driving and for driving otherwise in accordance with the licence, i.e. only provisional, and no insurance, okay? And at the minute, for theft of the motor vehicle. But what we're going to do is we're going to do an inquiry at where that's registered to find out who should have it, okay? So at the minute, we're arresting you for it not being yours, and then what will happen if it turns out that it is, you don't need to worry about that, okay?
No, the number plates, they were already in the car.
Okay.
We already got them.
Well, we've got to look at it, mate, and we'll ask you about it when we interview you, all right? But you don't worry about it until us all that there and then. Personal thoughts as to why it happens a lot is because, and sticking up for these lads a little bit, they get to 17, they want to drive. So they either pass the test, I mean, this lad hadn't, but a lot of them pass the test, look to insure it, give their address to the insurance company who frankly just laugh at them and say either, we're not going to insure you, or right, you've got a £500 car, right, that'll be £4,000, because the figures for £5,000 for insurance premiums around there are real and they're common. But, big circle, it's the actions of people like him taking uninsured cars and causing damage that then puts the premiums up, and then we're into that massive circle that they'll never get insured.
The cops can't prove that the vehicle is stolen, but can prove that the number plates have been.
5-8, just to let you know, we have had vehicle recorded, we're en route to Trafalgar now.
Oh, you saw the guy directly, yeah?
Not just yet.
5-8.
The driver faces a court appearance and a driving ban.
If the ban and the insurance issues makes him think, right, yeah, shan't be doing that again, and that's what we're here for.
The start of a late shift in Leeds. It's 5 p.m, and traffic cops Simon Binks and Lee Moody hear about a potentially serious accident.
2-4, yes, we are en route to this bump. What do we have at the moment? Sorry, I've got that it's a 14-year-old knockdown. Do we have any other information?
The circumstances that were provided to us were a young male, 14 years old, had been hit by a car.
All that we've got is it's a white car that's been involved, but that vehicle's made off from the scene. The driver hasn't stopped. There's obviously a reason why that person hasn't stopped, be it drink, they haven't got a licence, they haven't got insurance, etc.
Latest figures show more than 19,000 people a year are injured in hit-and-run accidents in Britain. 11 are killed. 3 of these deaths were children under 15 years old.
I have a daughter myself. When you go into things like this, it does, obviously, it hits home a little bit more because it's kind of like, what if that had been my little girl that had been hit?
Paramedics tend to the young casualty.
Quite possibly a lucky escape.
A lucky escape?
Possibly, yeah.
Cool. Am I right?
Apparently the car's hit him, he's
Yeah.
up in the air, he's spun.
Yeah.
And landed.
Right.
He had minor cuts and bruises, but the initial indication was there was nothing more serious than that.
So they will be with us.
Right.
2 of the 14-year-old boy's friends are witnesses.
We just heard the bang and then we went round to see if it was alright, and he was unconscious for a couple of seconds.
Did you just carry straight on?
He didn't even stop to see if it was alright, he just straight went.
And did you see who was driving it?
No.
Did you see it all?
It was too fast, we couldn't see no.
Right.
It is an offence to leave the scene of a collision. Under these circumstances and the timescale that had happened, we hadn't had any reports from any driver of the vehicle. Nobody had been into the police station. So we're looking at the fact that it is a failed to stop collision. Somebody's hit him and they've driven off.
Now the cops must find the driver.
Although they couldn't say what make and model the vehicle was, there was a white estate vehicle parked across the road.
It looks similar to that, but it's not that apparently.
And what the witnesses have stated is, although it wasn't that car that was involved, it was a vehicle that was similar to that car.
Soon there's potential evidence that points to another car.
We don't know whether that's an old one or not. I didn't even look at that.
Oh, right, got you. There is a wing mirror that's been left at the scene, or the glass from a wing mirror, should I say. This may or may not be involved, but I think there was a response unit that was having a look. If they just keep their eye out for any white cars which is missing the glass out of one of the wing mirrors, please.
Now that then gives us something to try and match back to to any vehicle that we find that may be a suspect vehicle.
This is the shape of the wing mirrors are unique to each car, so we should, with a little bit of find out, give us a starter for one as to what make of car it was, and then once we know that, we can then start looking at other evidence, looking at cameras and various things like that.
They have clues about the car's make and model, but will it be enough? Official figures show that every day, 5 people die on Britain's roads. Most accidents happen during the day when more cars are out. But it's just after 10 p.m, and Dan Robson and Mick Jessup from the Roads Policing Unit are called to Beeston, South Leeds.
Tango 36, got any further details for RTC, please?
The details we've got are the male with a head injury who's bleeding. There's 3 vehicles involved, an ambulance is en route. Romeo Tango 36 got further up there. There's a baby in one of the vehicles that requires an ambulance.
Received.
Being a dad of young kids myself, you know, you don't want harm to come to any kids, so it's just a case of getting there as quickly, obviously as safely as you can, but you do want to get there that little bit quicker.
Yeah, it's grabbing this one.
Here we are.
It's a 3-car crash.
You all right? Your car, who's with head injury? He's all right, he's standing there. Right, how's the young'un?
She's all right.
There's head injuries and there's head injuries. He was walking wounded and it appeared to be a superficial wound. He was talking, he appeared mobile, so there was no real issues with that. I decided at that point that I'd go and speak to the family down the road and find out about the baby that was involved in the collision.
How old is she?
3 months.
3 months. There's an ambulance coming to check her out, love. An ambulance coming to check her out. Have you got a blanket out in car to wrap yourself around, keep you warm?
I'm all right.
I know, you know, you're a bit...
No, I'm all right. You'll get cold.
Just want you to stay calm, love, that's all. There's 3 of them injured in the car. The driver's got a cut leg. The female front passenger, she's got back and neck pains, and there's a baby who's very quiet but the concern because she's been covered in broken glass as a result of the accident, but she has been in a proper class 1 child restraint, which is obviously a good thing.
No one is critically injured. Now Dan starts to question the driver of the Volkswagen.
Right, were you driving?
Yeah, I was driving.
Right, what's happened then?
I don't know, I don't remember really. I'm in shock now.
You don't remember?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
As soon as people start saying that they don't remember what's happened, it could be genuine, you know, he's had a bang to the head, but more often than not, it's someone that's done something wrong and they don't want to tell us about it because they know they're in trouble.
Paramedics are en route, but as the driver is stable, Dan breathalyzes him.
Because you've been involved in the collision, I need to do a breath test.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Right, take a deep breath and blow into there then for me, please. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, stop. Just come around this side of the car for me, please. Perch there for me. At this point in time, you're under arrest on suspicion of driving whilst over the prescribed limit.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
He's given a positive sample of breath at 62 micrograms of alcohol, so almost twice the legal limit. He's got a head injury, so he's not going to be able to, I don't think, go to a police station right now. We're going to have to get him treated at hospital and look at doing a hospital procedure and get some blood out of him and get it analysed.
He's suspected of drink driving, and according to the baby's mother, he may have caused the accident.
There was a car coming the other way, it was going really, really fast. You could see, as soon as you seen him, you just, first thing you thought of what speed he were going. And then as he got closer, he lost control and come over to this side of road. And then it just hit us before we knew it, it was just so fast. She's all right.
And the driver of the third car involved also blames him.
That car come down the other side of down the road on the other side. Spun him and then banged into me.
If the car that the family was in had have been maybe 3 or 4 car lengths further back, I dare say that the VW Polo would have gone head on with them, and it could have been a frighteningly different story.
In the back of the ambulance, mate.
As the driver's alcohol is wearing off, the clock is ticking for the cops to get a blood specimen. Only this will be able to prove if he has been drink driving. A 14-year-old boy has been hit by a car that's driven off. Lee and Simon are looking for the vehicle. With only a partial sighting of the car and a shattered wing mirror found, news then comes in from the control room.
We've had a further call from the uncle of the lad that was injured in the accident that got knocked down. He's done a recce of the area, and he's apparently with one of the witnesses and they think they've found the car involved in this accident. Parked up near to a caravan. Look at that thing there.
We located the vehicle, and it was the same model as the one that the witnesses pointed out at the scene, although it was a different colour.
2-4, there's nobody with this vehicle. Would you be able to just run it through, please? I don't know where this chap is.
The question is there evidence of an impact?
Looking at this here, look, as though something's brushed outside of there. This does have some tape on it, which I think there is some on this actually. Look at that, look. That matches over there, doesn't it?
And on that bit, doesn't it?
We've got 2 parts of a jigsaw. We've got a wing mirror that doesn't have any glass in it on a vehicle that has some tape on it, and we've got a piece of glass that's been located at the scene with some tape on it, and simply by offering those up to each other it was confirmed that the tape marks did match.
That's bang on, isn't it? Yeah. The sellotape lines seem to match, so we'll go and have a chat with the registered keeper and see what he's got to say. We've got reason to believe your vehicle's been involved in a failed to stop pedestrian knockdown. We've got your wing mirror, the glass from your wing mirror, we believe, at the scene of the collision, and it matches up with your vehicle that's outside.
As we were speaking to him, our suspicions were raised that he may have been drinking.
Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Stop, that's fine, thank you.
He provided a positive breath test and was arrested.
You're under arrest on suspicion of failing to stop at the scene of a road traffic collision, failing to subsequently report a road traffic collision, and driving whilst over the prescribed limit.
He then started saying that he'd been drinking at home but could provide no empty vessels from which he'd been drinking.
There's no proof that it was this vehicle, but there are grounds to question the owner at the station. He needs to provide 2 further breath samples using a more accurate breathalyzer.
Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. You're nearly there, keep going. Brilliant. Okay.
Fantastic. You provided 2 specimens of breath. The specimen with the lower proportion of alcohol contains no more than 39 micrograms of alcohol in 100 millilitres of breath.
He's 1 point below the level of prosecution.
I'd just like you to talk me through this evening's events and what you recall.
The driver admits to having been on the road where the incident took place that evening, but was not aware of having hit anyone.
I think he accepted at a certain point that a collision could have occurred and he wasn't aware about it, but he's certainly not accepting any guilty knowledge, if you like, of the collision occurring and or his involvement in that.
We didn't have anybody that could state it was this registration number. Without an admission by this gentleman, we were going to be struggling to get a case through.
With no conclusive evidence to charge the driver, he's released on bail. "10 miles west in Bradford, PC's Andy Barron and Martin Willis are on patrol, running insurance checks on cars.
Focus there.
Yeah.
Slovakian owned, no insurance.
With experience, you pick up on just indicators that there's something not quite right.
Oh, he's seen you, he's doing a sneaky turn off. And his passengers in the mirror like that going off. They're following us.
And on this occasion, this car made a very, very sudden left turn into a petrol station. I just got the impression that he didn't intend to do that.
Hey mate, you alright? It's just a quick document chat, that's all. Whose car is it?
Right.
How long have you had it?
What, a week?
Let's have a seat in our car and we'll just take some details from you.
Our primary concern was identification, firstly. It's the number one thing you have to prove for a prosecution, that it was actually the person driving that you stopped and have reported for the courts.
What's your name then, please? And you've got no ID?
No.
Does your mate know your name?
Yeah, I've got my insurance certificate, everything.
Does your mate know your name?
He knows my nickname.
What's your nickname?
Right. I find it's rare for somebody to be driving around in a car with absolutely no identification whatsoever. Quite often it's a ploy that people will use when they're not insured or they've got no licence or they're wanted to give either one of the friends' names or a relative.
Andy's initial checks identify a problem.
It don't come up insured, and this is just a cheap print-off piece of paper that I could have done on my computer. It don't prove you're insured, does it?
09.
And it's not recorded electronically, which generally means it doesn't exist. We need to figure out a way of, firstly, identifying who he is, because he's got no identification, and two, verifying how this insurance policy is covering this car, because it's not recorded electronically. Usually that means it's a false document, so this car's going on the back of a wagon.
Uninsured drivers cause 26,500 injuries every year. Before the towing truck arrives, they make one more check to see if the policy is valid.
Well, I've got the certificate number in front of me. I just want to make sure it's a genuine policy. All right then. No, that's grand. Thanks very much for your help. Thank you. Cheers, you too. Bye-bye. Bye.
It's a life policy?
Yeah.
That is unbelievable. Cooperative insurance have verified to my astonishment that it is actually a life policy that covers this car. But I would have bet my house that he wasn't covered. I'm shocked. 50, this vehicle that I asked for recovery where there were no insurance shown, can you bring that log back up please? I have an issue where you might need to cancel the wagon.
The policy may be valid, but the question now is whether the man driving it is the insured or someone else. Andy's been sent a photo of the man named on the insurance policy.
Fortunately, of the details the mail is given, there is a picture that's come up on my mobile phone from police records, and the picture looks very, very similar to him.
Came very close to losing your car then. We're just going to verify that this is you because your photograph. It's a good resemblance, but I'm not absolutely convinced.
People change every year.
I know they do. The picture is a good resemblance for him, but I think it might be his brother. I think he might have a brother that looks very, very similar.
I like to give the driver the opportunity to dig themselves a hole by showing him the picture and saying, who's this then?
Who's that then?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I can't tell with the eyebrows and everything.
Don't look like you.
Just lift your head up. Like that.
Look at the beard and everything.
think that might be your brother. Have you got any brothers? No? We've got another officer just down the road with a fingerprint machine that'll just tell us that it's you straight away.
It's a mobile fingerprint device. It involves the driver putting the fingerprint on a touch screen, and that fingerprint is sent away electronically for analysis.
If the man's been arrested before, his identity will be confirmed within minutes.
I think he's a little bit worried now. He clearly knows that there's no way out for him now.
It is his brother.
Fingerprints invariably don't lie.
I think we might have to do another interview now about lying to us, might we?
Yeah?
You've lied to us about who you were, haven't you?
I was going to admit to it at some point.
You what?
You're going to admit to it at some point? Well, you could have saved us a lot of time.
It turns out the insurance policy is his brother's.
I'm pleased. 50, can you ring back McAdams, please, and ask him to attend? He's given his brother's details, as was. My house and my bet's safe, the car's going on a wagon, and he can be reported for all the document offences.
Why did you give police false details in the first instance?
This is premeditated. I'm going to give false details. Clearly got in that car with a plan, knowing his brother's details and date of birth.
It's probably in your best interest now to answer questions honestly.
Who owns the vehicle? You. Do you have insurance to drive the vehicle? Okay, do you have any type of driving licence at all?
The tow truck hasn't gone to waste. The car's off to the pound, while the driver is walking home.
Okay.
Bus stop's over there then.
Bye-bye.
The driver who appears to have caused the 3-car accident involving a baby is now at hospital with traffic cops Dan and Mick. Having blown nearly double the legal alcohol limit at the roadside, the cops need him to provide a blood sample, quickly.
Time is of the essence, really. The quicker that we can get a blood sample, the better, because obviously the blood alcohol level is coming down, and obviously we want to try and get the evidence to show that they were over the limit at the time of the collision.
If you're over the limit, you're looking at a 12-month ban. We need the doctor that's going to look after you to speak to you and assess you and give us permission to get a blood sample from you. It's going to have to be a case of waiting and seeing, really. We don't know what the outcome's going to be yet, mate. All right. Ta.
But it's going to take time.
One problem. Could be a little bit longer because we've just had someone come into resource.
Right.
So that could make it a little bit longer.
All right. I would put my mortgage on the fact that the hospital doctor will say it's fine for us to get a blood specimen. But we've got to follow the procedure and do it right, and unfortunately in this case it's more than likely that with the time it's going to take, it'll be on the limit.
Although there was no fatality in this case, drink driving is one of the biggest killers on Britain's roads, responsible for 1 in 7 road deaths.
Looks like it's been your lucky day on more than one level, mate.
The whole time he was at hospital, he seemed very interested in how much alcohol there was in his system, and obviously it was touch and go as to whether or not he was going to come back over the limit, and it just seemed that that was all he was bothered about.
I mean, you've got a bit of a cut on your head and a bit of a swelling. Have you got any pain anywhere else?
Just the right off my leg.
Yep.
With no serious injuries, the cops can get a blood sample.
Dr. Egan, who is in charge of your case, has no objection to me requiring you to provide a specimen of blood or urine, which in the case of blood will be taken by a doctor.
Have you got any idea how long the doctor might be?
The police doctor is 20 miles away.
Be on his way in a couple of minutes.
From?
Huddersfield. Damn. Game over.
We need to be more positive, Dan.
I'm not negative, I'm a realist.
More than 4 hours after the accident, a blood sample has been taken by the doctor.
Just put your phone down a minute for us. Right. It's now 10 to 3 in the morning. I'm going to de-arrest you now. Okay, so you're no longer under arrest. I'll give you a call when I get the results.
With no harm done to the baby or anyone else, the driver is free to go.
He's no longer under arrest. We knew who he was, had all his details, how to contact him in future, so we could deal with him at a later date, rather than waiting for him to be discharged and taking him to a police station and interviewing him straight away. We took the decision to do all that at a later date so that we could free ourselves up to be out on the streets.
The guy blew over the prescribed limit after an accident at 10:15. It's now 3 o'clock the following morning and we're just leaving the hospital. He's going to come back. He's going to come back under the limit. And it's just, the system has failed us today. But hey ho, everybody's got the job to do.
Every day, there are 25 road accidents reported to West Yorkshire Police. Today, Mark Maiden and Paul Crabtree are starting their shift.
We just received a call. There's a vehicle on its roof a couple of miles out of city, so we're just going to get all the kit in the car and set off on our way to that, and we'll see what we have when they get there. First job of the morning, yeah, we started at 6. We got the call while we were still in, so it was a case of quick once over of the car, make sure everything was fine, bags in, jump in and go. On the way, you're planning, right, how fast the road, is there anybody else involved?
4-6, it'll only be a couple of minutes.
Road conditions make driving difficult.
Unfortunately for this time of year, it's still a bit cold and frosty. We're looking at -1, I would suggest, at the moment. And make roads slippy. So we'll see what it's like when we get there.
Ooh, this is greasy.
Ooh, clear.
And other drivers aren't helping.
How much notice do you want? We've got flashing headlamps, blue lights on top, blue lights in grill, and a big siren.
Right.
It's frustrating when people don't move for you. The reason being, we don't put lights on for a laugh, we get into something that needs us to be there.
The accident involves a young female driver.
We'll see what we've got. Morning, all right?
I'll have a word with her. How is she? She was sat up. So how is she, Simon?
When we got here. So we turn up, it's all happened. She's out of the car's left there. The road where it's happened is perfectly straight. And what's happened is she's hit the railings prior to the crossing, which have folded flat like a ramp and flipped her over.
The bad road conditions don't appear to have caused the accident, but paramedics think they know what did.
Right. Right. No worries. When you get in, can we just pop in with you? Yeah. Excellent. Paramedics just said that she smells a drink a little bit, as in stale from last night, so as soon as she gets into back ambulance, we'll do a breath test with her and see where that takes us from there. So let's get kit and see how we are. The probability is she's drunk last night, got up early for work, set off, and she's still got either the smell or the after effects of the alcohol still in the system.
Taking some photographs of the vehicle and the scene, just to assist us with those inquiries. There's also a possibility of some CCTV outside the Premier. Is your CCTV working? Is it? Can we come and have a quick look? Is there one that shows coming down from?
That's it, just coming down, yeah. I haven't got one going the other way now.
Right, it's just that angle there?
Just that angle.
That's fine. Lovely.
There are no witnesses, and the shop's CCTV has only caught the car after it flipped onto its roof.
doing the papers in the morning and I heard a bang. I thought some kids hit the sign outside. They just leave bang, hear the noise. Then I see stuff rolling around on the... Then I see a coat arm. I thought... Then I was scared. Straight on the telephone, really, rang the ambulance. 999 straight away. Scary.
I need to do a breath test with you because you've been in an accident, all right? All you need to do is just a nice gentle blow with this, all right? Right, blow. Keep going, 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 keep going. Brilliant. Spot on. Thank you. This breath test you've given, mate, all right, has gone over. Drink driving annoys me more than most things. The reason being, it's not a new thing. It's been drummed into you. The statistics are there, and the tests are there to say you can't drive a car properly when you're under the influence of alcohol. People still do it, and people still kill people, and it annoys me. Breath testing back at ambulance, and she's blown 39. Legal limit being 35. It is only a screening device as this, so what we'll do now is she's obviously going up to the hospital to be seen. We'll get one of our doctors to go up there, assuming she consents to give a blood sample.
The driver has a borderline reading for being over the legal alcohol limit. Then another possible cause for the accident emerges.
So I'd written she was late for work.
Yeah.
Also texting at the time telling them that she was texting and said she would be late for work.
Right. Spot on. There were people who were there, both paramedics and other people about, who would, when she'd got herself out of the car, had said that she was using a phone. Those witnesses were quite handy, and they were quite keen to tell us what had happened as well, and that's useful because we can build a bigger picture then. That's just come out of the car, which has been on at the time, so what we'll do is we'll hang on to this.
Drivers using handheld phones are linked to more than 500 casualties in Britain each year.
Little loop, right? She's had some Jägermeister last night, late on. She says, I'm all right, it's not because I've been drinking that it's happened. So although the primary concern is she all right, and we need to get the road open and things moving, at the same time, you're gathering all the time and taking things in.
She may face 2 possible offences: drink driving and using a handheld phone. If guilty, she could get a fine, penalty points, or even a court appearance and a driving ban.
The next stage is clear this, speak to her at the hospital and take it from when we get up there.
As it's now an hour since the accident, the chance of the driver being over the alcohol limit is unlikely.
We've just arrived at Bradford Royal Infirmary now, where the ambulance has brought the driver to. She's voluntarily provided another screening test, which we can do for hospital procedures. That's come back now, where she's blown 24 micrograms, the legal limit being 35, so she's dropped from 39 to 24, so that's going down very quickly. So we're happy now that she's not going to provide over. So we're not going to do the blood procedure here to take a sample off her, because I don't think it'll be over.
But the driver does admit to looking at her mobile phone, and so the cops want to interview her.
Hi. How are you?
How are you doing? You all right? So what's happened here is that you've given another sample and it's come back under on it, right? What I'll say is it doesn't take away from the fact that you were still over at the time, weren't you? According to that screening thing. Right, so you've told that other officer that came in that you were looking at your phone at the time. The distraction in the car is what's caused the accident. As it happens, my view is the drink hasn't caused the accident. Her leaning over to pick her phone up has caused the accident. Whether she was using the phone, whether she's turning the radio, once she's taken her eyes off the road, that's her not giving it full attention, and that's when you get accidents, as is shown by this. She knows she's damaged the car, she knows it could have been a lot worse, and you just get a feeling when you're talking to somebody, and I think personally this has been a massive wake-up call to her.
For the cops, it's decision time.
Does she deserve prosecuting? You could say yes, you could say no. My view is to put her for a driver improvement scheme, which will look to address her driving skill to prevent it happening again. From what she says, she's no points, no previous, only her involved, minor injury, driver improvement scheme, I would suggest. Is that what you reckon?
Yep.
She's not on
Learn to
phone.
let
She's,
her know
yeah, well,
what's
she
the
has it. She's been in tears around there. Because I did the what if. But she's not on phone. She's looked at it. If she'd have been on it, it's different, isn't it? I think it's made her think I need to be a little bit more careful. So it's the choice, education or enforcement. In this case, education, I think, was the best way to go.
In the last 10 years, more than 1 million drivers have been convicted of using a handheld mobile phone behind the wheel. The blood tests given by the driver suspected to have caused the 3-car crash involving the baby confirmed he was not over the drink-drive limit, but he pleaded guilty to driving without due care and attention. He was fined £180 and given 9 penalty points on his licence. Due to lack of evidence, the driver arrested for failing to stop at the collision injuring the 14-year-old boy wasn't charged. The uninsured driver of the silver Ford Focus, who lied to the police about his identity, is currently serving a combined prison sentence of 42 months for motoring and drug offences and banned from driving until 2015. The driver, who failed to stop for the police in Bradford, was found guilty of driving without a licence and insurance and received a 6-month suspended sentence, a 3-month curfew, and was disqualified from driving for 3 years. And the man arrested in relation to an armed robbery pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit robbery and received 6 years imprisonment. His passenger was found guilty of possession of criminal property and given an 18-month suspended prison sentence.